Alright, Shalom, Shalom. This is your brother Issachar, coming back at you with a lesson. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Akwakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and the 144,000 scattered across the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you. Alright, in today's lesson, we're going to go into, part 6 and I.C.B.M's Our Prophecy. Alright, so this is going to be part 6 and I.C.B.M's Our Prophecy. So we're going to start off today in Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 14. Alright, then we're going to, jump down a few verses. We'll hit all the main points in this chapter about the I.C.B.M's. Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon. So this is the Lord, okay? This is the Lord, Yahweh Shai speaking. Alright, put yourselves in array against Babylon, because the Lord is the one raising up these other nations against America. Babylon, meaning America. Okay? Why is right there Babylon referred to as America? It's just another name that the Lord uses for America. Okay? So right there is because Babylon stands for Babal, which means confusion. Round about, all ye that bend the bow. So the Lord is preparing all these, militaries and nations around the world that have nuclear, missiles, I.C.B.M's. Everybody who has all these missiles preparing around, whoever has these I.C.B.M's, the Lord is putting it in their minds to come against America. This is why you see these nations constantly, like North Korea. Okay, you see these nations constantly. What are they doing? They're constantly putting money towards their nuclear arsenal, and they're constantly testing those missiles, because that's the Lord, Yahweh Shai, that sends the angels to give them the inspiration to have them in that spirit. Because the Lord is having these nations get ready, because when the Lord says so, the Lord is gonna have these. The Lord is gonna have these nations, press that button, shoot at her, spare no arrows. Look at that. Okay, shoot at her, meaning America, spare no arrows. So not just one, not just 5 of them, all of them. Okay, the Lord is telling these other nations, empty the clip. Okay, empty the clip on this hoe. Okay, burn this hoe, America. Remember, okay, the Lord has a bone to pick with America. Alright, I don't care what these leaders say. Okay, what these bugged out, these other Israelite groups out there say. Okay, you wacky tacky Christians. You bugged out Catholics. Alright, the Lord is 100% fully against America. All the way, all the way. It's not like, okay, America might have a chance. Nah. Alright? The Lord is fully against America. Okay? This is why these nations are coming up against America the way they are. It's not just all these nations, found out the way America deals. No, it's the Lord. Okay? It's a judgment. See? Alright. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows. So empty the clip, shoot all of them, from their bombers, from their silos, from their submarines, wherever. If they have some in outer space, shoot all of them. The Lord's saying shoot all of them. Imagine. Okay. Right here. Here's the main point. Okay. Because a lot of people want to say, well, damn, why is the Lord gonna? Those of you that are new to this thing, you might say, well, why would the Lord? Why would the Creator? Be so mad against America? Let's continue reading right here, okay? All right. For she hath sinned against the Lord. Right. because these leaders are not who they say they are. How they say, they're for the Bible, and they're all about God and country and stuff like that. No, okay, they are full satanic. Okay, they are with the New World Order agenda, and they worship Satan and Baphomet. All right, because they're sinning against the Lord. They're not with the Lord. The Lord would tell you, like, hey, you know what, America's trying. They're not doing so good, but I'm gonna give them a chance. Like, they're trying at least. No, they're fully against. These leaders here are fully against the Lord. We're reading it right here, okay? Because if they would try a little bit, then the Lord would say that, okay, they're trying to make a sacrifice, but I'm denying them. They're not even trying, okay? They're fully on the left-hand side. That's what you guys, especially like the newcomers, all right, the young ones, you guys gotta know that, all right. That way you know exactly what's going on here, okay. All right. Yeah. You don't gotta know all the little details and all that. The main thing is the Lord's gonna tell you, okay. Um, what His name is, okay, to repent. But the prophets are gonna tell you, okay, who's who, okay, who's on what side, and it's up to you to receive that. All right. You see. All right. Verse 15. Shout against her round about. Okay, she have given her hand, her foundations are fallen. Right. Okay, her foundations are fallen because the angels, Yahweh Shem Shai, and the angels are destroying the foundations of this place from the inside out, and so are the prophets. Just by teaching this word, it's disrupting the plans of the New World Order because these leaders are being exposed. You see. Her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of the Lord. See, because it's the Lord that's bringing it. It's not just, it's just, America had this time, and every leader just, they can't rule forever. No, okay. This is all the will of Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, forget the Illuminati, forget the left-hand side. What you gotta understand is this is the Lord's will. All right. So with that being said, no one's gonna stop it. Okay. Like Apostle Ramlav, he said this morning, I believe, he said nothing's gonna stop prophecy. Because you can't. Because this is it's the Lord's will. It's beyond the elites, beyond the international bankers. Okay, this is the Lord's will. So with that being said, is what that means, that no one's gonna stop this thing because it's the Lord's will. See, the Lord's not saying, okay, well, go ahead and everybody duke it out, and we'll see who's the winner, and then I'll decide. No, the Lord's saying, no, I'm gonna destroy this hoe. I'm gonna burn this hoe. All right, yeah. The Lord's not saying, all right, we're gonna see only the strongest, whoever makes the top finals, and then they'll rule next. Nah. The Lord's making it very clear right here that He's fully against America, and He's gonna throw it. He's gonna throw America down. See? Her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai. Take vengeance upon her as she had done, do unto her. Right. Because the American military are doing some, gruesome, heinous crimes around the world, There's even people in the American military that are saying, hey, stop them, because Americans are, the American military are just bombing and killing, women and children, There's a lot that's happening that is not being put up on main news media. There's a lot that's happening because America just don't go over there and just fight fight the other nation's military. They blow up all kinds of like civilians. Men, women, and children. See, so now there's gonna be a big civil war coming because people are waking up. Even it's getting so bad that people, even in the American military, are starting to fight back. and starting to talk about the American military, what they're doing around the world. See, because the Lord is exposing you at such a high alarming rate. You have like Marines who are getting arrested because they're speaking out, saying, "Hey, man, this what they're doing that's just not right." Remember, okay, it's the leaders of America that are controlled by the international bankers. All right, this place is not a country that's all about God and country, and and they fear the Lord and the God of the Bible. Nah. All right, the leaders of America all bow down to the international bankers. You see? So now people are starting to realize, like, hey, like they're not cool. It's like, well, the Lord's been telling you this for a while. And for some of you, yeah, it was hard to accept in the beginning, because it's just you're used to it, you're used to, like, oh no, because you think that this is where I live, this is my country. They wouldn't do that. So of course it's a hard pill to swallow, So that's why the prophets are not going to give you a hard time right away if you don't believe. We're just not going to spend that much time with you, But if you just do your own searching, and you'll see that, yeah, man, that the prophets are just giving you the facts. The prophets are not playing favoritism and they just hate America just because they do. No, the prophets are telling you about everything. China, Europe, But America is spoken about a lot more because America is the belly of the beast. Yeah. So this is something that people are starting to wake up, smell the coffee, so to speak. See? So the Lord is pretty much saying that, because since America has, went around these other countries and took their resources and, totally crippled their governments and all that, these nations are angry now, So that's what the Lord is telling these other nations, go ahead, get your payback, Everything that America did to you other nations around the world, the Lord's saying right here, look, okay, at the end of the 15th verse, all right, take vengeance upon her as she, okay, America, had done, do unto her. So this is why the Lord's raising up Russia, China, North Korea, all right, all these nations, because America has been doing these other nations, dirty, so to speak, So the Lord is pretty much telling these other nations, go ahead, get your payback. Go ahead and get your licks in. Go for it. All right, this is why no one's stopping anything. That's why China and Russia, they're in here and they're just cozy, Yeah, people are finding out that there's sleeper cells here, yeah, but who's doing something about it? Yeah, you might have a few people get arrested here and there, but, the masses, they're well protected. See? Because it's the Lord's will. It's not just that, oh, the left-hand side has it so much, on a hush-hush. No, this is the Lord's will. See? Because the Lord's going to make sure that, Russia and China specifically, because Russia's going to be the main one to, kick it off. Then China and, their other, North Korea, Iran, they're going to follow. So the Lord's going to make sure it happens. See, that's why people are not really, people can't, are not really stopping it, because it's the will of the Lord. I'm gonna let's see here. I'm gonna go down to the 22nd verse here. All right. A sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction, because just look at the difference between World War II, World War One, and now look at the AI and the artillery and military advancement with their Air Force, their Navy. Look what everybody got now. They got lasers, got missiles in outer space, lasers in outer space. See? So World War III is going to be, it's going to be off the charts. Not only that, but remember, Yahweh Shai and the angels are coming too. Remember, because the Lord and the angels are going to fight in World War III too. Remember, it's not just Russia, NATO, America, okay? These remember the Lord and the angels, they're actually going to be in World War III. They're not just going to, show a sign in the sky like, oh, there's the Lord, you guys, He's showing his face in the sky. No, the Lord is coming down here 10 toes down with the angels and battle gear. Yep, and it's going to slay you heathen, you Edomites, and you wicked two-thirds starting out there in the Middle East, Then they're going to make their way over here to the west. Yeah, the Lord, he's coming down here. He's not just going to show his face in the sky like, oh, that was the Lord, you guys. No, he's coming down here in battle gear. Facts. 10 toes down. He's coming down here to deal with you Edomites and heathens. Imagine, That's why us believers, we're laughing at you heathens because we don't care what lies you guys say. Like Donald Trump, he said that there's not going to be a World War III in the Middle East. We just laugh because his words don't even matter. He don't even matter at this point because Trump's going to slavery. So we don't care what lies he has to say because the Lord already told us this is what's going to happen, So we don't care, it doesn't even make us mad. It doesn't even offend us at this point. Because at this point, you Edomites and heathens, you're so retarded and you're in so much trouble. You've seen those so-called UFOs, they're bigger than the planet Earth. But somehow you guys think that, oh yeah, you're still gonna lie and get out of it. Man, you heathens and Edomites are true retards, That's why we're laughing, because we know you ain't going nowhere. It don't matter what you say, we know your end. That's why we're laughing, because we know, hey, you ain't going anywhere, It doesn't even matter what happens to us, because we've already been in slavery and all that, see?